That boy who used to spend days in the garage with only his imagination and a couple hand tools has gotten lost in the grind of the real world. I think it's time we find him. Planners are cool. I love them. But come on, a lot of them are boring. This is anything but. This is a piece of history. It's folk art meets colonial meets, I don't know, but it screams old. And if we do it right, this recreation will tell its own story. I sanded at least one fingerprint off, sent a board flying across the room, missed the camera, thank God, because it's also my phone, so that would have been bad, like real bad. But in the end, it's one of my favorites. The staining, the antiquing, I love it. There was one issue though, and I need your take on it. So stick around to the end and let me know. Either my inspiration had a missing piece, or there's a flaw. No support for the tail feathers. Feathers? Wait, what? I thought we were building a planner. Yes, and yes we are. If you're one of the OGs, you know this drill. Cutting slats from a 2x4. And if you're not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll wait for you. Actually, I won't. Trying to keep this one under the buzzer, but seriously, it'd mean a lot. And we'd love to have you hanging out here and down in the comments as well. I cut slats all the time from a 2x4. I did it in my very first video. It takes a flat grain board and turns it into a wrist sawn or quarter sawn look. Perfect for slats. You get way more wood for your buck, and no one would ever guess it came from a 2x4. It's simple, it's amazing, and apparently, I'm easily impressed. Set your feather board to 1/2 inch, load up the 2x4 until it kisses the feather board. Lock the fence in and rip away. Then slide the fence in again, rinse and repeat. Mistake number 1. Forgot what I was doing for a split second. Set the board down wrong, and about halfway through I realized I was ripping it the wrong way. The blade wasn't going all the way through the board. A dead giveaway. It's not a huge problem. If needed, I'll rip another, but might just be a sign of things to come. Look at this. All this from 2x4 chunks. I apologize. But slats are literally my favorite thing to cut on a table saw right now. Once we mark them to size, cut them to length, and sand them up, they're going to look gorgeous. Store-bought. We'll cut our ends while we're at it, taking that 1x6 and cutting to 6 inches wide 2 times over. And here we get our first peek at what we got. We got our end boards, some slats going up the sides, and the top feathers, and the neck. Sort of looks like a pixelated Atari game from back in the day at this point. You know those 8-bit blocky graphics? The original photo had like slants, diagonal slants for the sides to go on. I don't know why, it looked weird. So we're going to go with a gradual curve of our body, not only on the top, but the bottom as well. So out comes a skipulate. Just kidding. I knew that would be too small. We'll skip right to the bigger lid. And yeah, too small again. We're going to have to make our own curve thing. I grabbed my flexible ruler, put some tape on it to curl it like a bow. Not perfect here. The ruler is not designed for this. So the curve is not going to be perfectly symmetrical. But I'll just flip the end over and it will work for what we need. Just a light curl to give a bulge on the sides. We don't want our duck to look too skinny. Wait a minute. All right. That was close. Got so excited for the curves and almost made mistake number 2. I forgot to cut my trench for the neck and board of the duck to slide into. Completely drawing a blank on what that is. It's not a rabbit. That's on edge. A dado? Hopefully I'll remember before posting the video. Anyways, we do that on the table saw. Much easier when the edge is square. And I make mistake number 2. I rush it. And instead of creeping up on it, I get it just a hair too wide. I told myself I wasn't going to do that. Promised. But it's one of those days. This is what we call foreshadowing. Back to the curve. We hit it up on the wind for a quick, easy sand. I'm going to be honest here. I love this machine, but I have one issue. This little ledge, you have to be careful. It's easy to push too hard and push out a square. Maybe if I keep doing my pull-ups, I'll be able to tighten it tight enough one day. But really, that's my only issue. I know, horrible camera angle, but we will correct that further on. Just slide the curve into the sanding disc and let it do the work. A quick test fit, and I can see that the 1.5 inch boards are too wide.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. I don't think we'll need to go.
So I ripped them down to 1.25 inches. I think we're perfect now.
Beautiful.
The birds of a feather. Getting my curve makers out, I draw in some curves to simulate the duck's body. Then I hit it up on the Wen. I hardly ever use it this way, so I've never even replaced this circle pad. But man, this is an amazing way to creep up on the outer curve. You hear me talk all the time about the curved end of the main belt and how I love it for the inside curves. Well, this disc is great for the outside curves. Give the sides of the slats a good sanding, and mistake number 3. Let's see that again. Yep. It was so strange. I remember thinking at the time, this isn't the way you sand thin slats. You always hold them at the end, then flip them over. But this is great. There's no need to flip it over doing it this way, then bam! The board goes flying across the room, narrowly avoiding my camera. No harm, really. Just my pride. Again. I'm thankful that so far the only mishaps I have had are with the sander. Knock on wood. I probably lost a couple fingerprints, but other than that, no worse for the wear. Anytime you're out in the shop, just be careful. The neck and the head are next. I really thought this would be far easier than it was. It took forever to get it right. I apparently have lost my drawing skills. Somewhere back in the grind of the real world, probably. I gave up on drawing on the board, went in, sat down, worked on it, and eventually made a pattern. Then off to the Wen. No, not that one. The scroll saw. I'm beginning to think Wen should sponsor me here. I have no idea why I called it by name. I don't call my drill press Bauer. She's red. Just kidding. That's probably going to stick now. Knowing what I can do with the benchtop sander, I allow myself to be horrible at this, cutting nowhere near the lines. Then we'll just spin the edges into the sander, and perfect. I mean, seriously. I can't stop smiling now. This came out good, far better than I thought. I mean, it's just like my inspiration. Yeah, that's right. Old school Atari 2600, the Dragon, or Ducks, from Adventure. I'm just kidding. It was not planned like that, but come on, you see it, right? I walked in here, turned on the lights, and instant flashback to being like 12 years old, sitting in front of the TV. Far too close, of course. Awesome. Assembly time. And I tell you what, for as many mistakes as I made this far, this went amazing. I just glued and shot the bottom on and moved on to the sides. Ended up using a 1/4 inch spacer for my 1, 2, 3 setup block kit and glued and shot the slats on. No blowouts. I mean, none. So stoked on that. So what do I need your help on? The tail feathers. I mean, seriously, look at that. There's no support, none. Just one nail and glue. I may have gotten carried away, made my tail feathers longer than the original. I don't know, but they need something, right? Let me know in the comments what you think. What would you do? In the meantime, I'm going to de-stress myself by distressing this beautiful piece of faux history. The lost and found throwing knife comes out again. I just trace some grain patterns, trying to imitate some splits or near splits. Then the bug hole maker comes out. I'm not going crazy here, just a little bit of something so that the stain drips into, adding that layer of character here and there. Black paint, acrylic watered down, going to try and imitate metal stains around the nail heads. Instead of hiding them, embrace them a little. And a couple, not many, just a few little areas where maybe fungus stained the wood a little. Again, I had to make this. I saw the photo from an antique shop from across the pond, and I loved it. Had no real idea where I was going to put it. Didn't care. It's only scrap wood and time, and any time in the shop is good time. It's my way of stepping back and smelling the roses. I went with special walnut on the body and dark walnut on the headpiece and tail feathers. Let me know what you think. What color would you have gone? All one color? Golden oak probably, right? Or maybe natural and dark head and tail. As always, thanks for watching. Please like and comment. I love hearing your thoughts, opinions, what you would do differently, anything and everything. And if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. We have more videos on the way. Thank you.